I'm really conflicted about this movie. Like, I don't know where I stand on it. Hello, you beautiful nerds, and welcome back to yet another video. If you're new here, then please subscribe and like this video, no matter what you think of it. Welcome back to yet another video of me sitting down in the armchair and blabbering nonsense at you for 20 minutes or so. Once again, this is unscripted. I'm just giving you my raw thoughts on Terrifier 2. The Reckoning. I don't know, it doesn't have a subtitle. Yeah, this film is weird. It's definitely weirder than the first one. Is it better than the first one? Yeah. There's a lot more that I can appreciate with this one than I did about the first one. Where do I even start with this film though? I don't know where to start. I'm just struggling to think of words to even describe it. Okay, so we've talked about the first Terrifier and how it's basically gore porn, right? That's basically what it is, and it's like, oh, we're paying homage to the 80s. And yeah, I can see that, but also like, no. This one, I thought it would be like the same shit, you know? I thought it'd be the you know, classic sequel slash a sequel type stuff, where it's basically the same film, but, you know, with maybe a different, you know, setup or anything like that. And it is not the same film by any means whatsoever, and I don't know how good this is. Weirdly, I would need to watch it again, but I don't know if I want to do that. The big problem with the first one was the unnecessary violence against women, and that still happens in this film, and I don't know how I feel about it. It's bad. Arguably worse than the first one, although I'm not sure. The filmmakers would have had space to correct their mistakes and have bloody, awful, brutal murders happen to men this time, but no. I mean, yeah, dudes get killed, but it's still just decapitations and stabbings in the eye and stabbing in the dick and stuff like that, but it's just what happens to women are way more brutal and exploitative completely, and I cannot appreciate the kills because of this. As good as some of the kills are for a slasher film, and it's just exploitative, and it's old, and I don't even know how to talk about it, because the film has a lot of good stuff in it. It's much better than the first one. I would rather rewatch the second one than the first one, which is a rare case for slasher films. Right, okay, the premise is completely different. I mean, yeah, Art does go around killing people. We can see that, I mean, we saw that he's supernatural at the end of the first one with him, you know, shooting himself in the head, and then he gets revived. We see Art now with a manifestation of a little girl version of himself, and it's creepy and it works and it's good world building and stuff like that. And come to think of it, that I got a lot of Nightmare on Elm Street vibes from this film, and in a good way. I'm a big Nightmare on Elm Street fan. I mean, you can't really see it, but I do have the signed poster back there, and I do love all of that dreamscapey stuff, and this film has a lot of that in it. I feel like if they made a modern Nightmare on Elm Street, then it would be something like Terrifier 2. Just probably done better. I felt that Art and James Howard Thornton's performance was still great and still worthy of a watch, and he was still, like, you know, darkly funny, and all of that is still present, although I think it's not as in your face as it was in the first one. This version of Art in the sequel is when it comes to the black comedy anyway, it's a lot tamer. Kills wise, no, he's still the same murderous psychopath. But there is so much in this film is nearly double the length. Well, that's a bit of an exaggeration. The first film was an hour and a half. This one is 2 hours and 20 minutes. And to the film's credit, it does use those 2 hours and 20 minutes to the full potential. Like, there is a lot of stuff going on in this film, and you wouldn't think that the filmmakers were able to do such imaginative world building, although imaginative is a bit of a stretch because it's basically a Nightmare on Elm Street and Michael Myers combination type thing, and maybe Pennywise as well. So it's just a combination of all slasher films, which kind of makes it unique in its own way. That's just what creativity is, isn't it? But it's just interesting to me, at least, to see slashers play on dreamscapes and daydreaming, and the slasher villain like getting inside your head and really going after you and tormenting you mentally as well, and I do love that. The film kind of falls short when it comes to the story. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff in it. The characters I couldn't really care about. Like, I'm sorry. I mean, they're much better than the first one. Miles and miles better than the first one. Jesus. Oh God. 100 times better than the first one. At least they actually have motivations and they're not. I mean, they are kind of bumbling idiots. But that's just slasher films for you, I guess. The main character, I forget her name. I genuinely forget her name. The main character, the virgin white girl. Oh, she... I don't know. Maybe. We don't know. We never find out. There is depth to her character, which is good. She has panic attacks, and she has a missing father, and that father vaguely relates to Art the Clown, and I'm assuming we're going to find out more answers in Terrifier 3, and her dad made this character that's like very exploitative and suggestive looking, and she makes the costume for that character, she wears it to Halloween, and yeah, she's also a minor. She's meant to be like 17, being played by a woman that's nearly 30 years old, and another woman, her friend, who is the one that gets the brutal killing, by the way. The main girl, I can see, like, she gets away with it because she looks younger. Her friend is also meant to be the same age as her, as far as I'm aware. Around, what, 17, 18 at most? Yeah, she looks 30, so that doesn't really... The kid is, you know, looks his age, although he's more looking 14, 15 than 12, but oh well. I guess kids look older than they actually are sometimes. Like, I can see that. Yeah, her brother, the kid, I forgot his name too. I don't remember any of the names. Yeah, the characters aren't that good. They're a lot more memorable, but that's because of the weird story that comes with it. Like, she gets this character and she wears the costume, and like the film keeps focusing on this bloody sword that her father gave her before he died of a brain tumor. You'd think, I mean, correctly think that she will eventually kill Art with it, or like it has some sort of power against Art or whatever, because they keep focusing on it, and this film makes it very clear that this is supernatural, so that's fine. And then she dies about half an hour before the end of the film, and then she gets revived by supernatural means, and then she goes to kill Art, and she does. But Art's not really dead, because Vicky from the first film gives birth to Art's head that was decapitated. It's so f***ing weird. It's imaginative. Does it make much sense? No. Does it have to make sense? Not really, but I'd like some answers. Like, I guess that's kind of, you know, the minimum to ask for is like some answers. We get that Art's supernatural. We get that he's like a demon of some sort. I don't know how he imprinted on Vicky so badly. Maybe chewing her face and the trauma and stuff, and possessing her part of her soul or whatever, and then she gives birth to her head, and the head is alive, even though I get the shock value, like, oh shit, it's not a baby, it's Art's head. It's such a weird film to wrap your head around, because there's so much happening throughout the film, and you're just sat there thinking like, yeah, I can see, like, Art's killing people, and then there's this subplot of the girl who's meant to be the hero of the story, and then she dies, and then she gets revived, and she saves her brother, and she kills Art, and then Art's not dead because he's a slasher villain, and they literally cannot die, as per slasher rules. Yeah, 5 out of 10. It's imaginative, I'll give it that. You don't really know where the story is going, although you have a vague sense of it. The acting is The mum, the main girl, and then the brother's mum is the most annoying character in the entire film. I'm glad she got shot in the face. I mean, yeah, it's much better than the first one. I would say it's not as gratuitous as the first one. That doesn't make it, you know, okay that you're doing all this. Like, Art skins a girl alive, scalps her, puts salt on her, and bleach or like chemicals on her, and then she also throws acid in her face. Or is it someone else? He throws acid at someone. Yeah, the kills kind of merge together a little bit because they're all kind of so violent. And yeah, the guys just get their head chopped off and get stabbed in the dick or whatever. I'm assuming we're gonna get answers in Terrifier 3 because that's happening. Why Art continually goes after this main girl. Like, there's a lot of setup that just doesn't pay off, and I'm assuming that's because they're doing another sequel to it. You can see it going places and stuff, and like, I can't... yes, there's a lot of setup and stuff that we just don't get answers to in this film. And I understand that you want to make people come back for the sequel, but like, you could have things that make a bit more sense, like explore Vicky further maybe. That would have maybe been a better, or like, you have 2 hours and 20 minutes. I do enjoy some part of the story to an extent. I just wish that it wasn't so abrupt. I like the part that it's like a hero versus villain story in a slash film. That is very interesting to me personally. Like, you might hate that, but to me personally, that's very interesting to have this main girl versus the demonic Art, and she's the only one powerful enough to kill him and stuff like that. It's like the Tommy Jarvis, Jason Voorhees, or Nancy Thompson and Freddy Krueger type ordeal. It would be nice if I could remember her name, and if she was a better character. She has they're trying to give her some depth and stuff like that, but we don't spend enough of time with her as a person, rather than someone who is either getting killed at the moment or has to fight Art off. Maybe I have to watch the film again. I know I'm rambling a lot. You put the film on, you watch it, and then you're just there like, that was weird. Yeah. I don't really have anything else to say about this. Yeah, Terrifier 2 is definitely a movie. It's definitely a horror movie. I like the creative... I mean, I didn't think they would go in this creative direction. I like where they're going. Am I going to watch Terrifier 3? Probably. Am I invested? I'm more just curious. I don't really know what else to say. So I'm going to end the video here. Well, if you liked this video, please consider subscribing to my channel to catch all of my ramblings on a weekly basis. Please comment and like the video so you can let the YouTube algorithm know that I am decent. Thank you for watching this video, everybody. I will see you next video, which I don't know when it's going to be. Probably next week. We will see. I'll see you all later. Goodbye! You can let the YouTube algorithm... Please comment and like the video so that you can let the YouTube algorithm...